Hello, and welcome back to Odd Mystery Stories. I'm Vince, and in this video, I step into a story that lingers like the echoes of footsteps on wet pavement. A young woman who vanished without a trace, leaving behind a family forever changed, and questions that time has never quieted. This is the story of Aaliyah Bell. On the rainy night of November 25th, 2014, just 2 days before Thanksgiving, 18-year-old Aaliyah stepped out of her uncle's home in Rock Hill, South Carolina, for what should have been a simple half-mile walk. She never arrived at her destination. No struggle, no witnesses, no clues. Just silence. What happened to Aaliyah that night? Was it something unexpected? Someone unseen? Or a moment lost forever in the rain? As we unravel this cold case together, I'll share every confirmed detail with the respect it deserves. Because behind every mystery like this is a real life full of dreams, laughter, and quiet hopes that mattered deeply to those who loved her. Each case told here deserves careful attention, not for shock or for spectacle, but for the truth it whispers. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Let's begin.
18-year-old Aaliyah Bell went missing back in 2014 with very few details on where she went.
The 59-year-old man is responsible for other murders, including Rock Hill native Aaliyah Bell, who went missing back in 2014.
The 18-year-old disappeared right around Thanksgiving in 2014. She was on her way from her uncle's house 2 blocks away to her godmother's home in Rock Hill when she vanished.
To understand Aaliyah's story, we first need to know the young woman she was. Not just a name on a poster, but a daughter, a niece, and a dreamer with plans as bright as her smile. Aaliyah Shade Bell, sometimes going by her stepfather's last name Hall, was born and raised in Rock Hill, South Carolina, a city set amongst the gentle hills of the state's northern edge and part of the greater Charlotte area. At 18, she stood about 5 foot 6 inches tall and weighed about 145 pounds, with black hair, warm brown eyes, and a pierced lower lip that showed her playful personality. On the left side of her abdomen, she had a small tattoo, a cluster of stars, a quiet reminder of the aspirations she carried inside. Aaliyah was a student at the Phoenix Academy, a non-traditional high school in Rock Hill, designed for young people facing academic or personal hurdles. She had faced her share, living with an undiagnosed learning disability that made traditional classrooms more challenging. At times, she dropped out temporarily and stayed between her godmother's home and her grandmother's house. Yet, despite every setback, Aaliyah's resilience defined her. She dreamed of becoming a hairstylist, using her creativity to make others feel confident and seen. Her family described her as upbeat and kind-hearted, someone who could fill a room with laughter. Typical Aaliyah, upbeat, her aunt Erin Pickett recalled in those early frantic days after she went missing. There were no signs of conflict, no arguments or distress, only plans for the holidays, family gatherings, and simple joys ahead. And on November 25th, 2014, her future seemed as steady as the rain tapping against the window. It was Tuesday evening, November 25th, 2014, the kind where the air hung heavy with the promise of Thanksgiving feasts and family stories. Aaliyah had spent the day as many 18-year-olds might, attending classes at Phoenix Academy, chatting with friends, and thinking about graduation. Earlier that afternoon, a family member had wired her $100 through Western Union, a small gift meant for Black Friday shopping. It was a simple gesture of love, a quiet show of confidence in her growing independence, but that money was never picked up. That night, Aaliyah joined relatives for dinner at her Uncle Bobby Hall's home on Chestnut Street, in the South Side neighborhood of Rock Hill. The area was familiar, lined with modest homes where neighbors often waved from their porches. It was the kind of community where people looked out for one another, though local reports occasionally mentioned crime nearby. Still, Chestnut Street felt like home to Aaliyah. She had walked those streets many times before that night. Dinner wrapped up sometime between 9:30 and 11 p.m., the exact hour lost to memory and rain. Laughter filled the house as plates of home-cooked food were passed around. When the evening wound down, Aaliyah said she planned to return to her godmother's home on North Confederate Avenue, just a few blocks away, less than half a mile on foot. It was a route she knew by heart, straight down Chestnut Street, under the glow of flickering street lights. The rain had picked up by then, a steady drizzle that turned the ground slick. Still, Aaliyah didn't seem concerned. She asked a relative, whose name has never been publicly released, to walk her home. They declined, perhaps thinking it was too short a walk, or maybe caught up in the comfort of family conversation. Aaliyah grabbed her jacket and said her goodbyes, and stepped out into the rain. "I'll see you tomorrow," she said with that familiar upbeat smile. Inside, her belongings remained. 2 cell phones, one an iPhone that was powered off, and the other with active service, sat untouched. Her wallet, extra clothes, and all of the small things that tethered her to daily life were left in place. Why leave them? Maybe she planned to return for them later, or maybe the rain hurried her steps. She carried only the clothes on her back, and then she was gone. No one saw her walk away. No neighbor caught a glimpse of her beneath the street lights. The rain washed away any footprints, any trace of where she went. Later, one neighbor reportedly told police they heard what might have been a scream sometime after 10 p.m. and noticed a dark vehicle idling nearby. Investigators followed up, but no confirmation ever surfaced. Whether it was connected to Aaliyah's disappearance remains uncertain. By morning, when she hadn't arrived as expected, worry crept in like the fog rolling across dawn. Her godmother waited by the door with the key in hand. Aaliyah didn't have one, and the lock clicked shut at 11 p.m. sharp. Calls went unanswered, texts lingered without reply. By the next day, November 26th, the family reported her missing, and Rock Hill police began their search on Chestnut Street. What kind of force could erase someone so completely on such a familiar path? For Aaliyah's family, her absence carved a hollow that no search could fill. Her aunt, Erin Pickett, voice steady through tears in a 2014 interview, held on to the faith. She said, quote, "Just have to keep our faith and stay strong. We just know she's still out there. We're just hoping and praying she just comes home." 8 years later, in 2022, her aunt, Leroy Hall, echoed the same ache with raw honesty. She said, quote, "I just want clarity. I want closure. I just want to feel whole again." The godmother who loved and raised her, who has since passed away, waited every night for a knock that never came. Uncle Bobby, who hosted that fateful dinner, rarely speaks publicly, yet the weight of that evening lingers in every family memory. Each year they've marked anniversaries with vigils, flyers taped to telephone poles, and pleas on local news stations. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children released an age-progressed image in 2020, showing Aaliyah at 24, her face softened by imagined time, the stars of her tattoo still there, hidden beneath her shirt. Today, she would be 29, perhaps with a salon of her own, clients laughing under her skilled hands. Instead, her family still wonders, is she somewhere out there, afraid to come home? Or has the rain quietly claimed her story forever? These questions aren't just theirs, they belong to all of us. What does it say about a place, a night, a life, when someone can vanish so completely? The case lay dormant for nearly a decade, a quiet wound in Rock Hill's history. Then, in July 2023, a ripple from across the country stirred the waters. Rex Heuermann, an architect from Long Island, New York, accused in the Gilgo Beach serial killings, a string of murders that horrified the nation, was arrested. Among the victims were young women, some from the South, lured or taken under mysterious circumstances. When investigators revealed that Heuermann owned a parcel of land in Chester County, South Carolina, about 30 miles from Rock Hill, the proximity raised understandable curiosity. Could this man, with his dark secrets have crossed paths with Aaliyah on that rainy night? Rock Hill police reviewed the case, combing through records for possible overlaps. Cell phone pings, travel logs, anything that might connect him to Chestnut Street. The FBI assisted using its VICAP system, which tracks violent crimes and missing persons across the country, to check for patterns or matches. For a moment, hope flickered. Answers felt almost within reach. But the review produced nothing conclusive. No records placing Kierman in Rock Hill that night. No evidence linking him to Aaliyah. And no parallels in his known behaviors. And once again, hope gave way to silence. Detective Taylor Tucker, ever steadfast, reaffirmed the department's commitment with saying, "We will always hope to solve the case, and we will continue to work until we do." Yet the question hung heavier than before. If not him, then who? In the absence of hard facts, the mind drifts towards possibilities, each one a thread in the tapestry of what might have been. Investigators have long leaned towards foul play, given the area's reputation. South Side streets, while familiar and lively by day, were not without their risks after dark. Opportunistic crimes, passing cars, and strangers whose faces faded with the rain. That neighbors reported account, a yell, and a dark vehicle idling nearby, paints a chilling image, yet police never confirmed that detail, leaving it as one of many uncertain echoes from that night. Could an abduction have taken place? Swift, silent, and unnoticed, pulling Aaliyah towards Charlotte's vast web of highways and hidden networks. Trafficking corridors through Charlotte, Fayetteville, and Atlanta have claimed too many young lives before. Aaliyah, trusting by nature, might have accepted a ride from the wrong person at the wrong time. Others have turned their gaze closer to home. Why leave valuables behind on a drizzly night? Was there unspoken tension during the dinner? Or a tragic accident quickly concealed? Police maintain that she stepped out voluntarily, and family accounts align with that timeline. But without witnesses, doubt lingers. A hit and run on slick streets remains possible, though exhaustive searches have found no evidence of impact. And the hopeful theory that she simply kept walking, choosing to start anew, falters against the reality of unclaimed money and a life once so connected suddenly gone quiet. These aren't wild theories. They're the quiet questions that keep families awake and detectives revisiting the same files, searching for what everyone missed. No single explanation fits neatly, and that's the cruel symmetry of cold cases. They mirror our own uncertainty, forcing us to confront how fragile safety can be. What would you do if a loved one's path ended at your doorstep? It's now been over 10 years since Aaliyah Bell walked into the rain, and her story remains one of Rock Hill's deepest mysteries. A reminder that some questions outlive us, yet never truly fade. Her family still waits, their faith a quiet beacon in the storm. If you have any information, no matter how small, please reach out. Call the Rock Hill Police Department at 803-329-7293 or contact the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. You could be the voice that finally brings her home. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the unexplained. If Aaliyah's story moved you, share what lingers most with you in the comments. Was it the scream in the night, the money left unclaimed, or the quiet power of walking home? Every thought, every comment keeps her memory alive. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and remember, every mystery deserves its day in the light. The truth is out there, waiting for someone who still cares. Hey, thanks for watching my video. My name is Vince. If you found this story interesting, hit the like button. It lets me know you'd like more mysteries like this. If you haven't already done so, make sure to subscribe so you won't miss the next case I cover. Before you go, don't stop here. you should see other videos from my channel on your screen right now. Just click one and keep the mystery going. Each case opens new questions, new theories, and new twists worth exploring. Thanks again for spending your time with me today. The next mystery is just a short time away.